We all knew we were going to get hurt in the end, but nevertheless. Welcome to the K-Drama Pub. In today's video I want to talk about Nevertheless, the K-drama that has everyone talking, from shaky ratings to unfortunate scandals that threatened the show, and oh so many opinions, from debates about casual sexual relationships versus romantic relationships, to the battle between Butterfly Boy and Potato Boy. This drama had many fans in a vice they couldn't escape even when they wanted to. As this commenter rightly puts it, this K-drama gives us a different plot, cast, characters and points of views that should be applauded. Today I want to specifically talk about how Nevertheless uses cinematography to portray intimacy, one of its core themes. Let's get to it. The first thing I want to talk about is the use of cinematography to intentionally highlight physicality. And no, I'm not talking about all the sex. Rather, I want to talk about all the ways cinematography is used to reveal the sexual tension and chemistry between characters long before they first touch each other. This chemistry is usually the reason why when two people in a group like each other, it is very easy for others to tell that there is something intimate between them. For example, the first time these two meet, it is obvious to us that there is an instant attraction because they exchange many glances and shy smiles at each other. This is highlighted by the close shots of them taking in each other's features. This attention to portraying instant chemistry is even better highlighted in this scene. Nabi flinching at Jaeon's touch is a sign of her attraction to him.
The choice to zoom in on the features of the characters as they look at each other, as well as the insistence on highlighting the reactions to each other's presence, sets the tone of the sexual tension between the characters, which is an integral part of the plot. Without these details, this first encounter would just be a meet cute, but by the end of this scene, their sexual chemistry is tangible.
There is definitely a departure from the innocent style typically used to film physical scenes in K-dramas. But Nevertheless also does a good job of portraying intimacy as part of casual sexual relationships.
In this scene you can almost hear Jaeon's hand running through Nabi's hair, and you can almost feel the way her hands run across his back. Again, the intention here is not just to portray sex but intimacy. For comparison, check out this totally hot scene from What's Wrong with Secretary Kim. This scene was very steamy, but it definitely lacks the intensity that is in Nevertheless. Whereas in the first show, the love between characters has been built over several episodes culminating in that sex scene, the sex scene in Nevertheless happens in the third episode. The scene is therefore not rushed, with a lot of attention detailing the intensity between characters.
The next thing I want to talk about is the use of composition to emphasize intimacy. I feel like Nevertheless is an example of K-dramas that have such stunning cinematography that are not properly discussed. However, there are 4 specific ways Nevertheless uses cinematography to highlight intimacy that I want to talk about. Firstly, the show used a variety of shots that centered Nabi and Jaeon. In these examples, the blurred group of club-goers and the cherry blossoms have been strategically used to place the main characters in the center of many shots. It is a common style of filming romantic scenes because it creates the feeling that the lovers are in their own world, a necessary ingredient for intimacy. Secondly, I want to talk about what I call the peekaboo lens, which is basically when a scene is framed or filmed through different objects. Here we can see that the sex scene was elevated by filming through a glass object to create a kaleidoscope effect. Again here, a window and tree leaves are used as frames, which creates the impression that viewers are looking into the private moments between characters. This heightens the sense that whatever we are watching is an intimate moment between two people. In this scene, this style is used just before the leads kiss for the first time. Thirdly, there's a very interesting technique used to differentiate the relationships Nabi shared with Potato Boy and Butterfly Boy. Whereas Potato Boy was portrayed as a source of light, warmth, and clarity to Nabi, Butterfly Boy was often positioned as a source of confusion, mystery, and sensuality to her. Everything from clothing choices to the kinds of dates they had, and even the motifs used for these two are used to reiterate these qualities. What does this have to do with intimacy, you might ask? Well, when it comes to attraction, they say opposites attract. This character association was intentionally employed to justify Nabi's somewhat unexplained attraction to Jaeon. The intimacy she feels for Potato Boy is due to their familiarity and similarity to one another, whereas Jaeon offers her a chance to explore and be reborn. This really fits the theme of the show because it implies that Nabi is drawn to Jaeon like a moth to a flame. Despite the fact that Potato Boy makes sense for her, she was nevertheless going to choose Jaeon. And for my final point, I will talk about how the first-person narrative style used in the show highlights the theme of intimacy. Right from the beginning of the story, Nabi is the main character who introduces us to her relationships and her thoughts on love. This style of narrating a story to an unseen person creates a relationship between storyteller and audience. This serves two purposes which are both related to the theme of intimacy. Firstly, by establishing a relationship with the audience, the idea that we have a front row seat into the minds of the characters is heightened. By sharing the story from their perspectives, we get to experience their excited, conflicted and confused emotions along with them, and we are therefore capable of identifying the unspoken intimate moments between characters. The show cleverly solidifies the relationship between storyteller and the audience by having the audience play a role in the drama. In this date scene, the audience becomes the photographer. I thought this was a cool detail. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video despite the few hiccups. Subscribe, like and don't forget to leave a comment telling me what you think about the debate between Potato Boy versus Butterfly Boy. See you soon.